What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on Mental Voice by BlackBox Productions. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't, please consider subscribing, give this video a like, and any questions or comments, just ask in the section below. Also, don't forget to join the Chris Edwards Magic Secret Access group over on Facebook. So first off, before we get to the review, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to everybody for the condolences, support, and help regarding my last video. I will have a video coming out to do with that, because out of all of this, there have been some good things that I think will benefit everybody as a whole. There's some chances to get some things moving forward, and we'll talk more about that in the other video. For now, we're going to review Mental Voice. So what is Mental Voice? Mental Voice is a mentalism tool that will allow you to plant a voice or a sound inside of your participant's head. So the idea behind this is they will have their fingers in their ears so that they can't hear anything, yet they will still hear a voice or there's a bunch of different things. Maybe it's a song. The list goes on, just get creative, but they will actually hear this sound in their head clear as day. And, I've tried it on myself, and I was very surprised at how clear and how good it actually sounds. Now, this is my first experience and my only experience with a bone conduction device, so I can't compare it to anything. I know there are other models out there. What really stood out about Mental Voice is the price tag. What do you get? So it's going to come in a package like this. Now, the packaging is quite neat, because when you open it up, you have some blue LEDs, and your device will be in the middle. Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep it in here. The only reason I kept this is because it is noteworthy for the review. Now, my friend Chester, he actually makes custom boxes for things like Mental Voice, Flux, and I've seen some other things floating around. So he actually sent me one of these. Now, I purchased one for Flux, and then he threw in a second one for Flux, which I will do as a giveaway, and one for Mental Voice. So thank you, Chester, and reviews for those will be coming right away as well. So I keep mine in here, and the guys at BlackBox sent this to me and asked me to show the device, which normally I wouldn't do. But I mean, if there were any lay people to see this, they're not gonna really have any idea what it is, because it isn't obvious. Now, the idea behind this, them wanting me to show it, is because of the size. So I'm just gonna grab a silver dollar. 1 second. All right, so this is being advertised as being the same size as a silver dollar, which obviously it's thicker, but as far as width goes for palming, it is very similar. The box that Chester sent me houses everything nicely. So you have your charge cable, and this is also the cable that you'll use to get audio from your computer to your device, which is right here. Now, the device will be palmed just like this. Okay, so it's small, it's easy to finger palm. It's actually right-handed, and that does make a difference, because the button that you use to engage the audio is on the right side. You would use your thumb to activate it. Now, normally with any coins, I'm left-handed, but you're not doing any sleights, so this is very easy to palm. The other thing is, the best place to place this is on the back of your participant's head. So regarding angles, you're completely covered, because you'll have this at your side, or maybe you'll be gesturing, and then you'll come up behind, place it on their head. Obviously, their head is going to block it from anybody in the front, and you're going to be covered from all angles. So this size, if we just place this over top, you'll see it's actually, as far as width goes, it's smaller than the silver dollar. It's maybe just a little bit longer, and then the thickness is like that. So very easy to use, very easy to get in and out of, right? You have an on switch here, so you'll switch that on, and then this is the button that you'll press to activate the sound. So we'll switch that off. You also have a fader here that is used for volume. So 0, 100, and you want it at about 80. You can play it at 100, but 80 I think is a good place to sit at. Now, as far as the battery life goes, I was reading online and it says if you use this approximately 2 to 3 times a day, you're going to want to charge it once a month. Now, I would charge it more often than that just because, but that's pretty good battery if you ask me. Inside there is a 16 megabyte chip. So this will store quite a bit of audio files. Most of the time when you're putting audio on here, it's going to be in kilobytes because you're just going to have maybe a celebrity name or a word, anything that you want to force or have them hear. Now, if you're putting a song on here, I would recommend singing the song. What I did to get my audio on here is I set up an amplifier. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just what I did because I like the sound of it. I set up an amplifier with a microphone. I put on a bunch of reverb so that there's a really kind of echoey sound because I like the way that sounds inside of your head. Also, if you're playing actual audio, which you can do, you're going to, I think it's going to sound too perfect, like they've heard the song before and now it sounds exactly the same. I think that kind of takes away from the effect. But anyway, you can store a lot on here. It comes with 3 preset tracks, which is just 1, 2, 3. It's just a voice saying 1, 2, 3. I kept the 3 audio tracks on there just to test it out, and then after that it was simple. I recorded my audio. You can also download audio online. The thing is, it has to be MP3. It can't be .wav, it can't be MP4, it can't be other things like that. It has to be MP3 for this to recognize it. So all it took was I have a recorder that I purchased for equalizer. It's a good quality handheld recorder, so I use that, but you could use your phone, you could use your computer microphone if you're using a laptop, just whatever you have to record your voice or sound. After that, you connect this to your computer and you just transfer it over, copy and paste into the folder, and you're set. Now, the way that this works, every time you press the button to engage the audio, it will skip to the next track. So press it once, that'll be your first track, press it again, second, third. Now, in the tutorial, they mention that you can put a lot of tracks on here. They recommend 5 to 6, just because if you have 30 tracks on here, it's going to be hard to keep track of everything that you have on here, right? You're gonna have to memorize what track is which number. And then again, if you have 30 tracks on here and you want track number 26, you're gonna have to press this button 26 times to get there. So it's recommended to have 5 to 6, but it's up to you. So what's the quality? The overall quality, this thing is solid, right? Nothing moves. It's shrink wrapped, I think that's what you call it, in like a rubber kind of case. And yeah, it all seems very secure. Audio quality, it actually surprised me because, like I said, I have no experience with any previous versions or other versions of this, but I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, when you use it, it's clear as day and it sounds really good. Difficulty level, like I mentioned, this is super easy to conceal and use. So really, there is nothing difficult about it. You basically just place it where it needs to go and you're set. I already mentioned angles. I wouldn't say there are any angle issues with this. Setup and reset. So after the initial setup, whenever you want to add and remove audio tracks, I guess we'll count that as setup. But as far as it being ready and then using it to perform, there is no setup. Reset is basically instant. So all you have to do is cycle through the tracks to get back to where you want. If you're wanting to do the same effect, say you're doing strolling and you do something for this group and you want to do the same thing for another group down there, it's almost an instant reset. You might have to press the button a few times to get back there, but that's it. Can it be inspected? They're never going to see this, right? It's not something that they're going to see or notice. It's not even something they're going to feel, because the, I guess, misdirection kind of that you use with your participant is, or what I use anyway, this gets placed on the back, right? And really, it just feels like your fingertips. It doesn't feel like anything else. But what I do is I also put my fingertips on their forehead. So they're feeling something on the front and the back. And to anybody watching, they think that, you're just kind of bracing the back of their head for when you touch the front of their head. So yeah, there's never going to be anything that needs to be examined or inspected. Pocket space, it's small, right? About the size of a silver dollar, a little bit thicker. So you can throw this in your pocket. It's hardly going to take up any space. Like I said, I do store mine in here. That would take a bit more pocket space, but you have everything. You're probably not going to carry this around with you, but I do like it for storage and protection. When I'm performing, I would just throw this in my pocket. Is it a worker, and who would use this? So yeah, I would say that this is a worker, because what I love about this, if I'm doing walk around mentalism or I'm doing like table hopping, if I'm in a loud environment, then even better, right? Because that also cancels out the fact, A, they're plugging their ears, and B, if there's loud music or a loud TV or ambient noise, maybe you're in a room with a bunch of people, that's just going to make it that much more clear that they're not hearing your voice, right? So it's great, because since it's in their head, you could be in an extremely loud environment and they're still going to hear this sound in their head, and obviously nobody else can hear anything. And due to resetability, I think that this is perfect for strolling, table hopping, stage, parlor, close up. The list goes on, just casual performing. And it's extremely powerful, because when you think of the idea of mentalism, right, thought reading or mind reading, when people perceive that, they probably think that you're hearing something in your head somehow, right? Maybe you're visualizing something, but maybe you're hearing something. So when you can have your participant be the ones to hear something that you're transmitting, I think that's just really, it's unbelievable. So who would use this? This is mentalism, right? I wouldn't play it as anything else. If you're just a magician and you do a lot of sleight of hand magic or things like that, I wouldn't bring this out and kind of say, hey, check this out. I can make you hear something in your head. It kind of takes away from the believability of this. So I would say that this is definitely not only directed towards mentalists, but I would kind of keep it in that category. So what's the price? Now this was a big selling point for a lot of people. I know some people have already purchased this, and I know a lot of people who haven't are very interested. So this is $200. I did forget to mention one thing while recording, so I'm just editing this in. But if you order direct from BlackBox Productions, and I will leave a link in the description, you can get a discount by using the code CHRIS10. So that's CHRIS 10, all caps. And in the time of recording and now, I got the new Mullica wallet. So that review's coming soon. Anyway, back to it. When you compare it to other models out there, there's one that's over $1,000, there's one that's kind of in the middle, and then this is extremely affordable. Now, like I said, I can't compare it to other versions, but being that it is significantly less money, I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know if the sound would be clear. I really had no ideas going into this, but upon opening it and testing it out, I was blown away by this, because it's absolutely incredible. Now, in the tutorial, you'll get kind of the history on how this came to be, how it works, the handling, and then just a quick routine. But really, this is a tool that's meant to aid you in your mentalism and kind of add an extra phase or element to what you do. So you'll get the download code here. Well, I can't really show much. Anyway, you'll get the download code, and on the other side, there is a QR code. Scan that, and that will allow you to register it, and because there is warranty. So I think that covers everything. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. I will do my best to answer them, or at least find an answer if possible. And I just want to say thank you to BlackBox Productions for sending me this to review for you guys. It is appreciated, and this is something that I definitely was interested in and probably would eventually purchase myself once financial situation gets back on a kind of a normal level. But they sent it to me for review, so thank you very much for that. And with that, we'll see you at the next review.